What's up, everybody, and welcome to another Paracrew podcast. And don't look at your phones or your calendars. It is not Friday or Wednesday. It is Thursday because we have a Thursday night special, like it says in the title.
Right?
Oh, there's Squeaks. I was like,
I'm here.
I
My
saw
mouth
my.
is burning and I look like crap, so I apologize.
I was gonna say I saw my picture backstage, and then I see you turn into Lurker. So we got to get you your own.
Well,
We gotta get you
yeah.
your own avatar.
Well, I know I usually do, but it for some reason it disappears every so often. So and I gotta have support here for you and Lurker. So
we know, we love you for it, Squeaks. So before we bring on our awesome guest tonight, I just want to make a couple announcements. I'm excited for this. Our P3 family is growing very, very quickly.
That's incredible. I love it.
We actually signed a brand new person today. I'm super excited and honored, and we got to get him back on the show. And that's none other than our brother, Scotty, the paracomedian Wilson.
I'm going to mute because my dog's going off.
Let's say apparently Patches didn't like that.
Right? No, I got company.
Oh, okay. Well, that makes sense. But anyway, so tonight, guys, we are doing a very special Thursday night for multiple reasons. Number one, I wanted to. My show, do what I want. And the other reason is because our guest has been asking for a minute, and he sent us an email. And honestly, I've been dying to get him on anyway. So without further ado, the man who has a literal laundry list of resume of different groups and teams and things that he does, he's very busy. So without further ado, let me bring on my brother, Michael. What is up?
What's up, everyone?
Howdy.
I had to take a second look because I saw on your little thing down there, your name. I thought it said Paranormal UK, and I went, wait a minute, you're from Texas.
Well, funny story about that is Paranormal Versus, the host is in the UK, and I'm here in the US, so it is UK, US.
Hey, that works. That works. We have P3 family members all over, including the UK and Scotland and all over. So that's cool. Well, anyway, brother, welcome to the show. I'm excited for this. I'm excited for this because not just of who you are, but because of the shows. I've seen your shows, love them. So for those who don't know who you are, give a little quick bio of yourself, brother.
Oh, the quick version. Okay. Yeah. So I've been paranormal investigating with teams off and on for about 5 years now, and been to over 100 investigations. Nice. I currently host a show that was under a podcast show last year that was under the name Exploring Our Secret Past, but we decided with the new year to rebrand ourselves. So we got ourselves a Facebook page. We now call ourselves the Energy That Surrounds Us, so we can cover a lot more topics and a lot more of the paranormal. So stay tuned for that.
Very nice.
And I co-host Kel Ridley's show, Paranormal Versus, where we compare either paranormal or regular life of UK versus the US.
You know, it's funny you say that because, like I just said, we have P3 family in the UK and overseas, and the differences, while we have similarities, the differences are very interesting. They look at paranormal investigating a little bit different than what we do, but it's cool. It's cool. It's cool to hear them out. So
I've also noticed they've got a lot of different rules over there for investigating and for trespassing, all in general. Which is interesting.
Right.
Yeah.
And I always like to tease Kel because she's like a stone's throw from a haunted spot and she never goes. And so I told her when I come over to the UK, we're going that stone's throw.
Now, where in the UK roughly is she? Do you know?
She's, I believe, in the northeast, and I want to say Newcastle area, but I could be wrong.
Okay.
She's near Hadrian's Wall. I know that.
Okay. I'm trying to think if where our P3 family is from, and we have them all scattered about. I know Portal to the Paranormal. I think that they're Southern, and I think Mystic's Southern too, isn't he?
I think so.
Yeah.
And don't we have Across the Pond?
Yeah,
I don't know if we have them yet.
No, not them yet. I know Sundown's. I think Sundown's Northern, and then we have obviously Liz in Scotland, and we have Friends of the Other Side, Stephen Dobbs. He's in Scotland, so it's cool. It's cool though. It's very fun to listen to the stories because, I mean, like brother, like we have here in the U.S., we've got historical locations all over the place, but the history that they have just trumps us.
I know,
and I'm jealous.
Especially when it's like you have a site that's tied to the Roman times, and you're like, you have not investigated what could be like changing historical text. It's like, why?
But they're jealous of Gettysburg or like the Alamo. I'm like, Gettysburg's a field. It's a field and a town. I mean, you guys have castles and all these other things, but really, you want to go? Oh, whatever. I think it's one of those things where they get used to it, just like we do. We get used to certain things, and we want to go abroad. But anyway, so how long? I know you said you've been investigating with teams for 5 years, but how long have you been studying the paranormal? Like, what got you into it?
Well, I've actually kind of been with the paranormal since I was 2 years old.
So okay.
That would be like 43 years off and on.
Was it an event or?
So when I was 2, I was in an attic of a 2-story building that had a basement. It was our house. And my memory of it is that I fell down the shaft and cut my eyebrow, which I still had the mark of. But I got up and walked away from it, and I was totally fine. I mean, imagine attic, 2nd floor, 1st floor, basement. That's concrete. To be able to walk away
from for a kid.
Impressive.
Yeah.
And I was talking with the medium, Catherine Sorlos, and she goes, well, actually, you were pulled in by accident into the shaft by a spirit, and another spirit came to help you and helped you land. And I was like, well, that makes sense, because I knew there was a spirit, because I remember talking to a spirit and saying, if I'm going to stay here, I need to be able to have access to the gifts I need, understanding, and everything. And imagine, 2 years old having this conversation. And I'm like, wow. And then when she filled in that there was a second one that came in, I was like, God, I don't even remember the second one. So it's like, that's just incredible to know. From that point, I was like, I could see shadows. I'd always see them, and I just was like, so there's shadow over there. It disappeared, whatever. I never thought about them as, oh my gosh, this is a paranormal experience. I just figured everybody saw them.
So then what was the catalyst to get you onto teams? Like what? I don't mean to sound rude, but what took you so long?
Well, okay, so I was watching the shows like Ghost Hunters, like everybody else, and Ghost Hunters International, and I thought it was just something that was done on TV. I didn't realize there were actual teams out that did this for fun or for work. And I was joined a Facebook group, Ghost Ship Hunters.
Okay.
And we investigate every once in a while and talk about places to investigate, all kinds of stuff. And so some Matthew from Dirty South wrote me and said, hey, do you want to join our team? And I was like, do you guys actually do this? This is for real? He's like, yeah. And I was like, sure. Next day I was in Yorktown. Almost. It was like he asked. Next thing I know, I'm on investigation, and I got hooked.
Nice. Now, we stated earlier you're from Texas. So whereabouts in Texas are you?
I'm around the Dallas area.
Okay, so I would say you're not too far, but we got our brother Lurker, and David Hope is actually in that area, and I think Alex is too, isn't he? He's around San Antonio.
I believe so, and so is Anthony.
Anthony's on the west side of Texas.
Is he?
Yeah.
See, there I go again.
Yeah,
I gotta get to know my teams again.
Nah, you're good. But no, we have family in the San Antonio area, the P3 family. They're all in the San Antonio area.
So, fun fact, San Antonio is actually 5 hours from my house.
Oh, I know.
Way.
Oh, I know it's a distance. But you're closer than what this guy is. You say his name 3 times.
Hi, Anthony.
No, this is our brother Anthony from Texas Wraith Hunters and Wraith World Podcast. He just started his podcast not too long ago, and he does a great job. It's Wraith World Podcast, and he does great job. He does a lot better, but it's not far. But
what's actually interesting is to go to San Antonio is the same distance to go to the coast at Houston. Mm-hmm. Even though when you look at the map, San Antonio's closer, it's actually on the road the same amount of time.
Yeah, it was the same way when I was stationed out in San Diego. When I was told I was actually stationed in Dallas area in Wichita Falls. And they told me I was going to San Diego, and I said, "Oh, cool, I'll be near LA." They're like, "No, you're closer to Mexico." I'm like, "Wait, New Mexico?" They're like, "No, Mexico." I'm like, "Oh," and I didn't realize, but yeah, it's almost a 4-hour drive. I mean, if you include traffic, you're looking at 7, but it's Southern California. So what do you expect? You'll be in San Antonio for next weekend. Oh, well, there you go. You better be meeting up with a couple people. Just saying. Oh, for the Global Ghost Hunt. Nice. So then you're a little different. Michael, my brother here, is a little different. So I actually asked him before the show, I said, well, what team are you a part of? And normally an investigator is a part of 1, maybe 2 teams, right? But Michael here is involved with 6. So I gotta know, first of all, why? And because that's a lot. It's a lot of work. We'll just be honest. But what made you want to work with all these teams?
Well, okay, so fun fact is I don't actually investigate with all 6, so there's a little story behind each one.
Mm-hmm.
So one that I investigate with is the Tribe, and that's based out of Mineral Wells, Texas.
Okay.
And Shauna Lee Anderson put us together. She is the custodian of the Fort Walters military base.
Mm-hmm.
And she put together a bunch of paranormal investigators. And one of our tasks is whenever she looks at, getting a new location that she hears is haunted,
mm-hmm.
we go check it out, see if it's really haunted. And if it is, what kind of spirits are there. And so then throughout the year, we come and investigate, keep the spirits happy. And, if anything new comes up or if spirits are starting to get a little abnormal, it's like, okay, we go in and we're like, okay, what's going on? What's upset you? Why are you now starting to act out? Or whose attention are you wanting and why?
No. Huh. Well, that's cool. So what you just people just asked you, they basically adopted you? Is that what you're saying then? These teams just reach out or
so some of them do, and some of them I've been with for a while. So Ghost Ship Hunters is actually now the longest running group I've been with.
Mm-hmm.
And as I mentioned, it's a Facebook group. We're global, so we share investigations, and when I go on an investigation, I used to when I was doing videos for live videos, I'd always say, okay, here I am, with such team, such and such team. But we don't have a formal like team that goes out everywhere together. But we try to get together and investigate, but we're too widespread.
So are you a sensitive then?
I am, to where I can walk in and I can I call it like a spidey sense.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Is all of a sudden I'll know something's in there, and then it's like I'll just kind of turn into like radar. Start looking around and being like, where is this coming from? Where are you?
Oh, okay.
What's your intentions?
I thought you were gonna say like radar from MASH. That's what I thought you were gonna say. I was like, ooh, I love
that.
radar.
Would be funny.
That would be cool. Ghost incoming.
PA system. Here at 3:00. You have an appointment in the lobby.
Oh, guys, there's a ghost.
Right? Do you ever feel like they scream at you? Like they just like up in your face when they really want to get into contact?
Actually, I've not had that, but I have had experiences to where, like when I'm traveling, I will hear someone's name, and they'll hear my name, and we're in different rooms, and when we get together, like one may be asleep, and so the next day I'm like, why'd you call my name? And he's like, he starts laughing. He's like, you called my name. I was like, no. Right? So like, great, the spirits are having fun with us.
I love when that happens. So what has been some of the highlights? Like what are some of the, because we all have them. We all have our bucket list, but we also have our highlight lists. And so what are some of these places that you've investigated?
I would say my highlight list would be, one would be the Nazareth Hospital in Mineral Wells.
Okay.
Because there I experienced the phenomenon when you see doors opening and closing.
Mm-hmm.
There was an upper cabinet. Yes, the window was broken, but there was like 3 or 4 upper cabinets, and only one would start to fully open and close. The other 3 just stayed perfectly still. And on top of that, there was a book open on the countertop below it. And it would lift up 1 page almost. Then it would lift up 2 pages almost flipping. 3 almost flipping, but never actually flipped. And it would just be random how many pages it wanted to pick up. And I was like, yeah, this is not something that I can say the wind is blowing and that's what's causing this.
I would have asked it to read. I'd have been like, can you read it for me? Can you put the recorder down? All right, read it to me. What are you reading?
Do with a highlighter.
Yeah, right?
Oh, what did I say?
Actually, I was with Ghost Geeks on this one, and they're the guy in charge of Ghost Geeks, Chad Wendell. He's sitting there next to me, and all of a sudden he goes, Michael. I go, what? He goes, I just heard your name. And I was like, what? And where he's like, but it's not like I didn't hear your name like the spirit saying hi, or hey. It was like, he goes, I heard your name like a computer would say your name digitally. And I was like, that's unusual. So we walk along the floor to the surgical wing. And on the way back, we decided, well, we're going to stop in this room where there's said to be a really bad spirit. Shouldn't go in there. But we were like, yeah, we're prepared. We know what's there, so we can handle it. Come to find a book of computer languaging for medical. And we're like, dude, there's a computer book in medical terms right next to the room where you heard my name digitally. And he's like, that's crazy.
Holy, well, that's a new one. That's a new one. Like it, I don't know why, but I got the image of, I don't know if you guys remember this, but the shows, like the older shows back in the 90s, like 80s, 90s, where they would have like a computer screen, like the old Macintosh screens, and somebody was talking through it. I just get that image in my head. I don't know why. Yeah, in a sense, yeah. But
I can even predate you, Matt, by saying Max Headroom.
Do myself.
I had an old Elite. I had an Elite when that first came out.
Remember MTV with Max Headroom? That's who I pictured at first when he said my name digitally.
I can see that. See, here's the thing, though. Like, a lot of people, like, I'm 36, okay? I'm an old soul, though. I love the older stuff. Like, my first game console was an Atari. And, even, you know, I love the older style stuff. I prefer it. So when computers, like, when I tell my daughter that I'm older than Google, she doesn't believe me.
Right?
I'm older than the internet.
Kids do.
I'm older than the internet. We all are. We're older than the internet. And kids just don't understand that. They're like, what? It's like,
Well, actually, what's funny, Matt, is I could say to your daughter, I'm older than Wi-Fi and the automatic upload. I had to do dial-up.
Oh, I remember dial-up.
Well,
I remember dial-up. I remember playing. Do you know what I really miss? And by the way, Michael, welcome to the show. This is what we do, but this is why I don't script anything. But I remember getting the old AOL CDs, the discs, in the mail, and it gave you like 30 minutes, and that was like gold to us. Like my friends and I, it's like, yo, I got some AOL. You want some AOL? I'll hit you up on Messenger.
The funny thing now
I
is
remember those days.
Right. The funny thing now is that they have an app just like Gmail and Yahoo. I've got an AOL.com account myself, and I laugh at people like, what?
Well, believe it or not, there's still a MySpace. Brian John Laverty and we figured this one out a while back. He told me about it, and I was like, what? There's still MySpace? And I was like, are you serious right now? And I went to go look at it, and it's all music now. I'm like, no. MySpace is for debauchery.
No, but I always thought what was funny about MySpace was everybody automatically had the one single friend in common.
What was it, like Tim or something like that?
I think so. And it was always this picture of a guy sitting at the desk in a white t-shirt and jeans.
Yeah, on. I remember that. That picture is always him with his fingers right. I remember him. It's like, oh, you know him? No.
Actually, talking about game systems, I know one that'll predate your Atari.
Uh-oh.
Intellivision.
I was gonna say, if you say ColecoVision, I remember Coleco. I actually had a Coleco.
No, I grew up on Intellivision, which was like predated Atari.
I remember that.
Anybody remember Oregon Trail?
Oh yeah. You know what's funny? They came out with a new Oregon Trail, and they have it on Steam. And I was thinking about buying it. It's only a couple bucks, but I was looking at it now. It's like fully interactive and everything else. I'm like, no, give me the old school. Give me old school Oregon Trail, where no matter what you did, everybody died. Nobody won it.
Our teachers were mean. They would literally use that as if you did all your homework, you got to go do something. And most of the time it was Oregon Trail. So we would always fight for it.
I really never had it until middle school. But here's Jonathan Myers from Crossover Paranormal Society. What's up, my brother? Hey. Jonathan's been out and about. He had a couple of investigations. He was out, I believe, last night. He was out at a cemetery. Jonathan's always out and about. Much love to you, brother. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it from you.
I know he called me old. You know, you're never supposed to call a woman old there, Anthony.
Vintaged.
I'll take vintage.
I can proudly say I'm almost a decade older than you, Matt. 45.
Oh, you got me by 9. That's all right. My wife, the Wicked Queen, she is
anybody's vintage. It's my mama.
She's 25. She's 25. My wife, the Wicked Queen, or no. Yeah, she's 9 years younger than me. Raymond Newsom from Newsom Paranormal, another brother.
Like, you better remember, Matt.
I'm lucky. Right, everybody.
I'm lucky if I know where I'm at half the time. Especially days like today. I've been making up a couple of videos, which by the way, guys, stick around, because here on the break we have a brand new P3 video. It has new audio, new faces, new everything. So you might want to check it out. Stick around.
But talking about Oregon Trail, they have a new card game, Oregon Trail, that is so bizarre. You have to lay out your own path, and you're given,
There
is somebody going to die? And then it's like, well, can we cure him in time? It's like,
Right.
what?
What's up, Fedora?
Weird.
We got my brother Scott Morton from Warren Area Society from WASP. WASP.
Hey, everybody.
Mr. Fedora, and yeah, I know. And there is the Dawn of the Paranormal, Victor Santiago. What's up, Victor? How you doing, brother? Hopefully you're doing well. Up there in Boston. I'm gonna come up
Boston.
there. I'm gonna come up there. I'm gonna drag him out. I'm gonna drag him out to a location.
Well, if I can't go in person, you better have me on here.
Oh, it's gonna be live. It's gonna be live when I get Victor out.
Like everybody goes live when they go to Boston near Salem.
I'm gonna tell him flat out. I'm gonna be like, dude, we're gonna go out, go get some food, and go chill, do whatever. And I'm not gonna tell him. I'm just gonna drive to Salem. Victor, don't listen to that.
Just tell IG where you're going so that he knows where his dad's at.
Blindfold him in the car. Make like a whole lot of left turns and make him feel like you've gone to another city and be like, oh, we're right here.
Mm-hmm.
We never left.
Hey, that's because I'm sweating. These things are a little warm. That's Boston. Oh, okay. I want to have a beer with you. Know what, Fedora? I want to have a beer with you. I really do. Hey, Banshee. Welcome. Hey, you weren't supposed to listen to that, Victor. All right, so then what's been your funniest moment? What's been this is something I always love to ask. Everyone always asks this, what's your scariest? What freaked you out? What's been your funniest? What's the funniest thing you've ever seen on an investigation?
So my funniest I would have to say is, so when I was with 30 South Paranormal, I always told them I don't run from locations. You can't, I don't get scared enough to run. I haven't had that come across. And so they all thought, okay, so we're in this high school and they put me in the office and I'm blindfolded, which was their first mistake. And I'm holding this energy device that's supposed to, generate a higher energy field, make for the spirits to come in, mess with me. And so I'm like, all right. And there's this glass casement next to me, like glass doors on a cabinet.
Mm-hmm.
So I hear tapping on the glass, and I'm like, I almost stand up, and I'm like, no. I'm thinking, I don't feel anything really right now, so just chill. And then I hear banging on the door, and I can hear laughter outside, and I'm like, just sitting there, and they're like, start banging harder on the door. Mm-hmm. And making all this noise in the building, one person at a time. And I'm like, and when I was done, they come in and they're like, so we tried to scare you, but apparently we couldn't. And my ex-girlfriend at the time is with us, and she's like, y'all are wasting your time. You're not going to scare them this way. And I said, so you guys almost got me with the tapping on the glass. And they go, we didn't tap on glass. Nobody actually entered the room. I was like, somebody was tapping on the glass. So while they're trying to freak me out, the spirits are taking the opportunity to try and freak me out at the same time. And I'm like, oh, this is just hilarious.
You know what's funny? Scott Wilson. I know you know Scotty, the paracomedian, our brother.
He's an awesome guy.
Him and I were talking on Tuesday, actually, on the Paraprod podcast. And we were talking about having fun and joking around during investigations and when to be serious. But it's amazing how many missed opportunities there are when you're just sitting around just BSing. I mean, a lot of people forget, I guess would be the right word to say, that these spirits hear the questions all the time. It's just like, these shows. You can do as many podcasts or investigations, but if you hear the same question over and over and over and over, it becomes tedious. The spirits don't want to, introducing yourself, perfect, fine. Talk about the weather, talk about political views, talk about sports, talk about political views in sports. I don't know. Talk about anything you want. And you catch more evidence when you're just bullshitting around and just having a good time. And
I'll agree with that. And I like to tell everyone, when I first started, I brought my mentality of corporate America with me of, this is work. You do it serious. You're trying to prove this.
Mm-hmm.
So I approached everything seriously, and I was like, I was hardly getting anything. I wasn't picking up much of anything, and I was like, how do these people on these shows get this? I'm not getting near this. I must be doing something seriously wrong. And then I'm watching Haunted Live with the Wraith Chasers,
mm-hmm.
and I see him haze somebody on the investigation live, where the guy's in the shower, and so the guy goes in the bathroom to investigate it and pulls the shower curtain back, scare the crap out of him. We're all laughing, and I was like, wait a minute. These are the Wraith Chasers. They're famous on TV. They're a paranormal investigation team. If they're having fun, why can't I? So the second I started having fun on investigations, it's like the whole floodgates opened.
Yep. And if the Wraith Hunters aren't, they don't sell anybody, think of Dave Tango and Steve Gonzalez from Ghost Hunters. I use the first 4 seasons for training purposes. We don't just watch it for entertainment, but they have a great time together. They have a blast. I mean, even when Brian was on the team, they still had fun. They joked around. I distinctly remember Steve daring Tango to do different things. Like he dared him to go underneath a house once. And it's stuff hilarious. And it's stuff like that it's okay to have fun. I mean, there is a time and a place, obviously, to be serious, but you can still have fun. And I think the spirits like that to break up the monotony of, they don't want to hear, what's your name? Who are you? Where are you? They don't want that. It's like, dude, get your ass over here. Let's talk. Let's have some fun. What are you about?
Also, when you're having fun, it's like you draw a certain line to where you're like, we're having fun, yes. And then it's like, okay, that's enough. Let's go back to what's going on here. Let's not just make a mockery of what's going on right now. It's like, that's not what we're talking about.
No. It's just about having a good time with the spirits and your team and stuff like that. So, but all right. So we're going to take a quick commercial break, guys. We're going to air the brand new P3 video. You heard me right. And also the new commercial for the Global Ghost Hunt. And when we come back, we're going to talk to Michael about his podcast.
Awesome.
I like to separate them. So, but all right, guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after these quick videos.
story is the husband and wife were going through a nasty divorce, and the ex-husband, or the ex-husband, burned down the house. And unfortunately, the story's true about the mother being killed, because it's the mother that was caught.
Are you two together? That was really good. That was brilliant.
It's kind of romantic, isn't it?
That's incredible.
Everlasting love.
That was incredible.
Welcome back, everybody. Hope you all liked the brand new P3 video. And
that was awesome.
That took a lot of work today.
I'm surprised you got that done in one day. That looks like it was like several weeks worth.
Well, it was kind of a template. We had another P3 video. I just basically redid the whole thing. I added some new people, and speaking of new people, there's one of them, Valerie Wright.
Hello.
From 505.
Hello.
You saw her in the video. She's also in charge of the Ravens Call. I almost said Claw. I don't know why I said that, but Ravens Call. But she's our new P3 family member, new sister, and our new brother, Scott Wilson. The paranormal comedian, the paracomedian. Speaking of comedians, there's Aaron Hoffman. What's up, brother? How are you? And Fedora says, my team got mad when I used the wrong videos. Well, that would make sense. That would make sense.
Well, that depends on which ones you used instead.
Nando from Portal to the Paranormal. What is up, brother? How are you tonight? Let's see. Yeah, it's still tonight for you. Early morning-ish.
It's like 4:40 here.
Well, for him, he's 5 hours ahead of me, and it's 7:40 here, so whatever that turns, 2 a.m., I think.
12.
12, yeah. Oh, yeah, so it's tomorrow. It's tomorrow, Fernando. Lucky.
He's time traveling.
Right? Aren't we all? 800 miles an hour.
But I got to say, I'm looking forward to the global ghost hunt. Carla Norris, my co-host on The Energy That Surrounds Us, goes up to me and says, we should be a part of it. I was like, yeah, but I was going to go on an investigation weekend and a week-long vacation. So I was like, Carlos, you set it up with Matt. You just let me know what I need to know.
It's real simple. All the information, and for not just you, brother, but for all of you at home, all you have to do is go to globalghosthunt.com. All the information is there. If you have a location, you can sign up. In other words, if you own, like Jill Shelley from the Boyd House, if she wants to put the Global Ghost Hunt in and she wants to put the Boyd House involved, that's no problem. Sign up right there. If you're a team, you have a location, great. Again, go to the website. It is $100 to sign up. Not that bad, but you get a lot out of it. You get promotional videos, you get thumbnails, you get at least 2 hours. You get 2 hours of live time live streaming. And the cool thing is say you have say you have an investigation, but it's not during that time frame, no problem. All you have to do is record it. You have to record. You can record it, whether it's as best footage you can get. 2 hours uncut. You can still be involved. So if you have something, it's the first one's May 4th to the 14th. So if you have something, say next month or this month, no problem. Just go out, record, send 2 hours worth in. You can still be involved. It's not that big a deal. Not that big a deal. And there's some awesome merch that is out there, so definitely go check that out. I'm actually still wearing it. I showed this the other night, but I'm still wearing the At the End of the Day shirt, my new one. For Brian, I'm still wearing it. But no, go check it out. It's globalghosthunt.com. You will get, like I said, a promotional video, thumbnail, all that stuff. It's full team support, full location support, and it's 2 10-day events, one in May and one in October. I know the one in October, I will be in Nolens. So I'll be hanging out with our brother Howard and
Oh,
Jackie.
yeah.
And Jackie. I'm gonna go check out Jackie.
Just make sure you don't call him.
I made that mistake. Don't video call Howard. Don't video call Howard. Any whiskeys?
Oh man.
Right. Right. I'm thinking the same
See,
thing.
I'd want to do that, especially if they give out samples.
Yeah, that's a problem. There you go. If you have a
Right.
team, the location, we'll help you find one. That's the other
Yeah,
thing.
I'm looking forward to New Orleans in October.
Oh, you going to Pier Fest?
I am.
Nice. I will actually sadly be there the week prior. The original date, the 21st and the 22nd, that's when I'll be. My wife and I already put in for the vacation for it. So, but we'll be down there from the 19th to like the 23rd. So we're still gonna have fun. It's all good.
Oh yeah.
That's awesome. So, Tanner, we have a winery over here in Spokane that will actually give out samples of wine when you walk through.
Isn't that
Yeah.
what taste tests are all about?
Yeah. The problem is I always say, I don't know. I need a second one. I need a second.
Right.
And then by the last one, I'm like, just leave the bottle. Oh, okay, just leave the bottle.
It's actually a haunted place, too, and I really want to go there. I'm going to try. That's like my goal this next couple of years, is to try to get to my team up there and going.
That'd be
I would love to find one that's unlimited samples and be like, try and sample one of every bottle before you leave.
Have you seen? I know you've probably seen the meme of that kid underneath one of the ice cream machines. Just put me underneath one of those. I'll be all right. I'll be all right. But
I am a JD girl there, Tanner. Love my
can't-
whiskey.
actually, speaking of, we're on it. We're gonna talk about it. I still need to finish this, but I still have my my Firefly sweet tea.
I was gonna say Fireball's in trouble right now.
I can't. I like
What?
I like Fireball, but not as an actual drink. Like that's just something. I need to still pick up that old Smoky.
I love that stuff.
I need to bring that
So
back.
apparently Fireball. So Squeaks got in trouble because cinnamon was brought up, and the I think it was either Fireball Candies or somebody was suing him because of their use of cinnamon or something. I forgot what it was, but yeah, Fireball got involved in a lawsuit.
Damn.
Huh.
They gotta take Skittles away, and now freaking Fireball.
When did they take Skittles away?
I was gonna say, who's taking Skittles?
They're saying it takes DNA away. At least that's what they said over here. I laughed. I was like,
Skittles takes DNA away? Takes
Yeah.
it away where? I'm like,
I'm at a loss here.
Skittles, so where's
I'm-
the DNA?
You're talking to a fat
he
kid.
took it off the shelf still because of the stupid news article that they did over here. That it said that Skittles changed the DNA. I was
this
like,
CNN
really? Because
by
all it
chance?
changed with me was gave me more weight on my body. That was about it because of the sugar. But
I was gonna say, I mean,
It sounds like something CNN would put out.
probably.
yeah,
But it's funny. I have a lot wrong with me, obviously, but I never would say it was Skittles that did it to me. A lot of other things have done it to me, but
that
Skittles,
was Little Debbie for me.
well, no, that
The world's gone to hell.
And
Skittles.
I'm still gonna eat my Little Debbie if the world goes to hell. There you go.
We have global warming because of Skittles.
You know what? We're gonna talk about this. Aaron, for those of you who follow me on a regular basis, know I have the P3 Paranormal Gaming. Aaron's a part of it and a couple others, but that comment right there is going to be in the next P3 Paranormal Gaming.
Oh crap!
Just saying.
No, it was true. I actually laughed so hard when they brought up this article. I was like, really? You had nothing more that you could talk about but Skittles, and somehow it changes DNA? I'm like, that's just weird.
Well,
Anyway.
yeah.
That science.
Mm.
The people who did the egg science.
I mean, who thinks of that? Like, who literally sits there and goes, I want to see if Skittles changes DNA.
Martha Stewart.
Well, no, even better yet, Matt, is We have all these options of what changes DNA. Skittles. We gotta find a way Skittles is doing it.
They're making too much money. We need to take it away.
Taste the rainbow.
That's what it was. That's what I thought it was, and that was the first thing that came out of my mouth. That's something to try to make them lose money.
You know what's funny is it's one of the most controversial, especially once COVID hit, but it's one of the most controversial commercials, and that's the Skittle Pox. I think that was the funniest commercial that I've seen in a long time. So, but I mean, I was going to talk about on the P3 Paranormal Gaming, I was going to talk about where ancient Egyptians poop, but I might just bring up Skittles.
See where Squeaker's brain is today.
I don't know that they actually did, man. I think you're in denial about that one.
It's a theory. But no, my theory is they used it like a fuck it, I'll already say it. But they use the sand like a litter box because obviously they worship cats, so they see the cats doing it, so they're like, if the gods can do it, why can't I? So they just lift up their skirts, bend down, let them have do their business, and bury it in the sand.
Yeah, that would explain why the sand is different colors in different areas.
Yeah,
coarser, softer.
I just think it's funny. You just see like a row of Egyptians holding their stuff up, just squatting there, just doing their thing. I just think the imagery.
Would they have to hold their stuff up, or could they not just go?
You just see them like spread their legs and just stick their.
Be like walking and just dropping it to go like a horse.
Where'd grandma go? Oh, there she goes. Just follow the trail. It's not chocolate.
Be like moving the stones to make a pyramid. Man, George, we told you if you gotta go, turn to the left. Don't make us walk through it.
If you think the camels are bad at it, you should be Grandpa. Instead of blaming the dog, blame the camel. Anyway.
Oh, the conversation has got us on.
So yeah, P3 Paranormal Gaming. The next live is going to be an interesting one. That's all I'm going to say. But
aren't they all though?
Oh, they are. And some of the stuff doesn't even make it into the live videos. Like, as you have your shows. Some of the best stuff is backstage. And we've started recording all of our sessions now for that particular reason. And just to let everybody know, hopefully here soon, P3 Paranormal Gaming is going to be coming out with a new game we'll be playing, Son of the Poorest. For those who haven't seen it, it's basically another. It's the second one in the version or the episode or whatever you want to call it. Second game in the Forest. We started playing the Forest. We had some fun. I know Aaron and I enjoyed it. I know Raymond Newsom, he enjoyed it.
The Forest.
Oh yeah, Mark. We've all played it. We've played the Forest.
Is that a computer game or is it like a PS4 game?
No, it's on Steam. It's on Steam on the computer.
Okay.
But it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Anyway, so speaking of shows and stuff like that, Michael, you talked about two different shows. What got you into, first of all, wanting to start a podcast, and what was the first one?
So, right after I started investigating with Dirty South, Stephen Woodard of United Paranormal Network comes up to me and says, dude, you would be awesome on a podcast show. And I was like, I am literally like 3 or 4 months into investigating on a team. I don't think anyone's going to want to listen to me about paranormal investigating or anything. I'm not known enough, so I think I'm going to pass just because I don't think anyone's going to want to listen to me, honestly. And he's like, you sure? Yeah. So then about 3 or 4 years later, we're on an investigation, a Parafest in Mineral Wells. And he goes, so Mike, have you thought about doing a podcast? And I was like, well, I've seen them, but I really don't know how to set them up or anything. He's like, oh, we can help you with that. We got you on that. I was like, well, all right. And so then I call up Carla. I'm like, Carla, you talked about doing a podcast. Let's do a podcast together. She's like, okay, how much time do we have to put this together? I'm like, oh, I think we have a month or two. So this is in June. Come middle of July, we find out Steven reaches out to me and he goes, brother, I'm going to be honest with you. Facebook is about to go meta. If you don't start your show before August, we may not be able to start it because meta makes everything so hard. And so I was like, he goes, where are you at with your show? I'm like, well, we don't have an intro. He goes, you don't need one. Oh, well, then we could launch now. It was like, that was really the only thing that was holding us back is we were trying to figure out how to do an intro. And so he's like, you don't need one. There's one built in. We're like, okay. So we used that one. And that was exploring our secret past. And so my intention was for a show where we could talk about all aspects of the paranormal.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we soon found everyone was confused by our title because they're like, well, how does this relate to the past? What secrets are you talking about? And I was like, well, we didn't really get into that. So I was like, well, let's eliminate the confusion. So I talked to Carla and I'm like, we need to rebrand because this title's just not really working for us anymore. And Steven warned us about that and said, you don't worry about the intro. You'll probably go through 2 or 3 of them. And
unless you're me, you go through like one a week.
And then he's like, and just so there's no pressure, you can do whatever you want on your show. It's whatever you want. It's just on our network. All we ask is, you follow like a couple rules. I'm like, no problem.
Mm-hmm.
And so Carl and I were like talking one day and we're like, well, what actually we're interested in is how do we come up with a title that covers everything paranormal? Because everyone thinks ghost hunting is paranormal. That's it. Mm-hmm. I'm like, there's so much more. And we were talking and throwing stuff out. And then she goes, well, isn't it just about the energy that's around us? And I was like, yeah. Light bulb starts turning on and we go, how about we just call our show The Energy That Surrounds Us?
I like it.
And that was born. And the fun fact is I like to write in a date book, like abbreviation of the show so I know which show is coming on and when.
Mm-hmm.
So I was writing Tetsu for The Energy That Surrounds Us in the book. And I was like, that looks like a word, actually. I look it up. It's the Japanese word for iron. I was like, that was a cool fact.
That is cool.
So I was like, cool. We're totally keeping this
interesting.
We're totally running with it. And so our idea is we're going to continue to have guests on that are paranormal investigators. We had a guest on that was with the Secret Space program, ufology.
Mm-hmm.
We have some guests coming on that are equipment makers or talk about equipment. So we're getting into our fingers into everything.
Nice.
And we're talking about, so we have a few episodes coming up to where we're going to do a panel, kind of like your show,
mm-hmm.
but we're all going to discuss a location where we were investigating together. What techniques did we use? Why we chose those? What worked? What didn't work? And we're looking at it as going, we can always do an investigation 101, saying this is how you do this.
Yeah.
But that is so done. I was like, let's do a little different. Let's take everyone that's been on that was on the investigation that wants to come on. Hi, Nikki. And talk about the investigation. Like what was our experiences and all of that. I was like, that I don't think gets talked about a lot.
Yeah.
And that I think people would be more interested in than hearing, yeah, we all went to, say, Myrtle's. everyone's like, well, yeah, well, what happened? And it's like, why did that happen? What caused that? It's like, yeah. So that's what we're doing, and so we're looking forward onto that show of branching out more of an eclectic view of the paranormal, covering some of all the bases. We may be getting some cryptid guests on, some more ufology, maybe some near-death experience people. Just
P3, we got a lot of. I mean, everything you're talking about, we got. So if you need anything, let us know. More than happy to help out. I mean, heck, Squeakers, and my wife, the Wicked Queen, they do a show called Creepy Cryptids. Usually on Mondays at 7 p.m. But I mean, they talk about literally everything cryptid. And we've had a couple people from ufology. We've had, Bigfoot. We've talked about myths. A little bit of everything. So there's always people.
Yeah. And what's funny, in our intro video, we had black-eyed children, and I couldn't get it to work through StreamYard. And so we shortened it to where we took the black-eyed children off, and it still wasn't working. And I was like, I woke up the next day from spending a full day of trying to figure this out to realizing I need to go from HD to 720. And everything works just fine.
You said black-eyed children, and Fedora shows up. What are you doing here? No, Fedora. That's Scott, Mr. Fedora. That was the Warren Area Society who was in here on the YouTube side. He loves black-eyed children, and actually, he's very knowledgeable about them. Very knowledgeable. But Akushak, I see you. What's up? How you doing tonight? So then, what caused you to open the second show, the Paranormal Versus?
So I watched Kel Ridley with Stephen Woodard on Closing the Gap, and I always thought that was a cool, fun show. And so we were talking, Kel and I, in the background, and she goes, well, I think Stephen's leaving Closing the Gap for personal reasons, and I'd like to do a show, but I have no one to co-host with. And I was like, well, what kind of show are you looking at? She goes, well, I always liked the idea of UK versus US, comparing the two. I was like, I can dig this. So I'm piqued. My interest is queued up, and I'm like, so how often you wanted to do this? She goes, I don't know. I was like, how about every other week? Great. Well, we could do a Thursday night, your time. I got clever about this because then it's the afternoon for me, so I'm not doing 2 late night shows. I got the whole rest of the night to recuperate from the show. And she was like, well, and then we started talking on video, and she's like, can you understand me? I'm like, yeah, I can understand you. So she's like, you want to do a show? I was like, yeah, let's do it. And that's how Paranormal Versus was formed.
That's awesome. Yeah, it's so funny. I love our UK family, and I love our family over in Scotland. But the one brother that sticks out, Paranormal in History, Scott Matheson, great guy. Hard to understand. He's got that thick accent. You almost need subtitles with this man. But I love him. I love them to death. But they're great people. Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
So my last question for you, because we're going to have to wrap up. But my last question is one that I haven't asked in a minute. And I don't know if he's watching or not. He probably will. But it's one that I get told that I stole. No, it's not. It's public. So
I'm like, you got me like, I'm like, do I want to answer this question?
Oh no, this is a good one. So no, it's a little game.
On the spot.
It's a little game. It's a little game that that Brian John Laverty. For those of you who don't know who he is, welcome to the show. Brian John Laverty, who runs Parapost and Parapost Network Central. Him and his co-host Lex from Through the Lens with Brian and Lex asked this question. what he forgets is I was asking this before I met him, but I was asking a different way. And I think we've all asked this question, but we like to they like to pick and say I stole it, and I have this notebook full of different notes from their show, which I do. But I like to ask, and we like to tweak it every now and then. So this is my version for this week. So Lex, Brian, if you're watching, get a pen and paper ready, because here we go. So Michael, brother, let's just say you're sitting there chilling. Let's say you go to Dallas Airport. You go to Dallas Airport for whatever reason, just to people watch, do whatever you want to do. And you're just sitting there. And some British guy comes up to you. Okay. Sits down, asks about different things like what to do in the area and stuff like that. And you tell him about all the sites and different places and whatnot. You talk to him a little bit about paranormal. And then he goes, okay, cheers. Gets up, walks away. You notice that there is a duffel bag sitting there. And you go to catch him. He's already gone. So you're just sitting there. And then you go to Lost and Found. And while you're standing there, this Canadian guy comes up to you and says the same thing. He goes, hey, I'm new to the area. Do you know what to do around here? And you tell him the same thing. You're like, that's kind of weird that these guys are, asking the same thing. Well, you turn around to go tell him something, and you trip over a piece of luggage, like one of those carry-on luggages. You trip over it. And he's gone. This guy's gone. He's just out of there. So now you're sitting there with two duffel bags, and you go to turn it in Lost and Found, but they closed right in front of you. But what was weird is when you're trying to figure out what to do with these bags, you notice that both those bags have your name on it, your name. And you're like, that's weird. I don't know these two. They just, they left the bags, and now all of a sudden my name's on it. You open it up. Both of them are filled with money. And a plane ticket. That's basically a blank plane ticket. So you can go anywhere you want. You can do whatever you want. You have money. Where are you going to investigate? Go ahead and copy that one, Brian.
Wow.
Much love, brother.
I'm like, as this question is progressing, I'm like starting to think in my mind, were these physical people that and not spirits, just
Hey, I haven't met either one of them in person yet, and Brian had an opportunity to swing by Pennsylvania, but he didn't. So I can neither confirm nor deny that they're real people.
No, but so I'm given a blank plane ticket with money. Well, the money I probably would donate to some friends who could use a helping hand with some stuff they got going on. And what's left, like any other paranormal investigator, I'd probably be getting equipment or, paying my way into a site to investigate. But the plane ticket, I would have to say I probably would do it to Europe.
Anywhere in specific? Like, what would be on top of your bucket list for that?
I would say in Paris, or in Europe, probably I would do France just to land. Only because I have a friend that he lives in Holland. And he tells me everything's like a few hours away. You can go into any country a few hours away. So I'm centrally located and just go to as many hotspots in different countries I could. Just utilize the fact that everything is so close and being just take a few days and just be one day maybe in Holland, another day in Germany, another day in.
I like that.
Kind of make a circle and utilize as much as I could get on that round trip ticket time frame.
I like that. I like that. Most of us have, our bucket list, and we have in order we want to go. But that's cool. That's cool. I've never heard anybody say a backpack, you go backpacking, paranormal backpacking trip. That's cool. That's cool. Well, brother, I appreciate you coming on. It was awesome hanging out with you.
It was. I'm glad we finally got to do it.
Right. So, guys, down in the description is all of Michael's links. Go ahead and go check them out, along with a bunch of other links. Go check them all out. They're definitely worth it. So, brother, give a little shout out to your shows and when they can find you and where.
So, Tuesday nights at 9 o'clock Central Time on Paralinks, Paraport, YouTube, and Facebook page. The Energy That Surrounds Us is going to be my show, The Energy That Surrounds Us, with Carla Norris. And then every other Thursday around 1:30 Central Time, 7:30 GMT time, is Paranormal Versus with Kel Ridley. So those are my 2 nights for paranormal podcasting, and otherwise you can catch me on interviews and hanging out with Matt on his shows.
Always. I appreciate your support, brother. And Raymond said he's subscribed. Awesome, brother. Appreciate it. So, well, thank you again for coming on, brother, and we'll definitely be talking soon.
Yeah, definitely.
Have a great night, brother.
Back on anytime. And
Nice to meet you.
Oh yeah.
Nice. Well, nice talking to you again, Squeaks. We met a little bit before.
We'll definitely get you back on the show another time, brother.
Yeah, and looking forward to. I think is it June or July? You're coming on our show.
Mm-hmm. Somewhere in there, I don't remember. My calendar is so
July 18th.
Okay. No problem. Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to chat. Hopefully, I mean, we'll obviously talk before then. But
we're always talking.
All right. Well, you have a great night, brother.
Thank you. You too.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
All right. Another great show, Squeaks. Another great show.
It is. I'm sorry. I can't. I'm showing my face a little bit, but I'm kind of bashful at the moment, so I do apologize. But
you're fine. You're fine. So before we get going, guys, I want to give a special shout out to all of our supporters that you see behind me. You got Parapost Network Central. Guys, if you haven't heard about it yet, why? And again, welcome to the show. But go check it out, parapost.net, or download it on your Android or iPhone store. It is basically a paranormal Facebook, no drama, no BS, none of that. And also, if you're on Facebook, you can go check out Parapost Network Central, Parapost Network Central 2. That's our international page. Go check them out. You'll find this show, plus my other show, Paraprod Podcast, and many other amazing shows as well on those pages. And also, I want to give a shout out to Paralinks. You heard that our brother Michael is on it. You can find us on it as well. All the links are in the description for Paralinks 1, 2, 3, Plus, and Live. You will not regret it. You will find Michael's show. You'll find my show. You'll find, a bunch of different shows that always are a great time. And I got to thank Steven, Howard, Chrissy, Courtney, Jackie, all of them, Crystal. You guys are fucking awesome. I love you guys. They're a family. They have been welcoming ever since day one. Guys, go give these shows a shout out. They are amazing. We talked about Global Ghost Hunt a little bit tonight. Go check it out. Again, guys, globalghosthunt.com. And you heard Michael talking about Fear Fest New Orleans. That is the week pre-4. What the hell am I talking about? Before. There's English here, I swear. Before Halloween. You will not want to miss it. It is going to be basically a paranormal Mardi Gras. And Howard's planning it with Steven and everybody. And you don't want to miss it. If Howard's involved, you know it's going to be a lot of fun. So big thanks to those guys for putting on everything, and big thanks to Steven and Howard for heading it up. And also I want to give a shout out to our sister Valerie, who runs the Ravens Call. Guys, if you are in the need for gems, crystals, whatever, go check her out. She can be found. She does have a video, but you can get your gems and crystals from her. Great products, great prices. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss out on it. Like, even if crystals aren't your thing, you know what? I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian by nature, by religion. But I use them. I mean, at least
Does
have a pretty.
She have online sales?
I believe so. Yeah, I believe so.
Awesome.
But you won't know until you go check it out and see what you gotta do. You gotta go check it out. So anyway, so tomorrow night, do we have a guest tomorrow night, Squeaks?
Yeah, we do, Mr. Raymond. Newsome.
So don't tune in tomorrow night.
So who's bringing the Jack Daniels?
I better already be drunk before that one. But we got our brother Raymond Newsome from Newsome Paranormal. We're in trouble. So, guys, we'll see you tomorrow night, 9 p.m. Eastern time. I am super, super excited. But thank you all so much for watching. And I guess there's only one more thing left for me to say. Y'all have yourselves a great rest of your night. Have fun. Stay safe. But as always, guys, happy hauntings.
See you later.